Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
What is up, Lock Shoppers?
What?
This is the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta right here at Edmonton Sports Talk. The clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Your host, Matt Awanix, with you. Host 5 is here.
What? That was well played, Matty. I have to tell you, that was pretty well played. Well played, Awanik. You win today. All right, well, you host it.
Okay.
I'll co-host.
I am the main host.
I'll co-host.
I'm your host 5.
I'll co-host it. I never get to be this guy. You know I like being this guy.
Yeah, you've got all the prep over here, so I'll have to set you up for that.
I can't believe that.
It's too easy.
Yeah, beat me to it. That was good.
It was too easy.
Good.
I was hoping you wouldn't jump in right away because I was like, should I do this? Should I jump in? This is the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta. Download the app. Visit them, playalberta.ca. Thank you to everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams, edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio. For those watching on YouTube or listening on podcast, Haas is in Vegas.
He is in Vegas, living his best life.
Having getting to watch what a football game between those Chiefs and those Raiders yesterday.
Yeah, good finish. That was about it for Haas yesterday. Haas texts me Saturday afternoon. I happened to be actually at Hudson's watching the Oilers game because Tam and the kids were shopping in the mall. And so I'm sitting there at the bar at Hudson's at the mall, Bourbon Street, with like their little TVs above them. Haas texts me from Circa, which is like the mother of all sports books. What did he text me here? I said, he goes, like, look at this place. Like, look at that wall of screens. Like, so he texts me and he goes,
you didn't want to be in the swim area?
He goes, we got to do a Lock Shop EST WST trip to Vegas in 2026 and stay at Circa. Like, he's in heaven. He was in heaven. So
we never got there when we
didn't get down to Fremont when we went to Vegas.
Time.
No.
We're pretty busy.
Fremont's good. I wouldn't want to. Well, maybe I would. I've never stayed at Fremont. I've enjoyed going down there like one night on a trip. Our trip was pretty busy, so really wasn't a lot of time to get down there. But I wouldn't mind staying at the Circa and seeing how it is. Gets you off the Strip. Fremont's a riot. You could still, nobody's going to say you can't go to the Strip because you're staying at Circa. But I've heard so much about the Circa place since it opened, and I've been down to Fremont since it did. So I would definitely like to check it out.
Nice, warm, hot day. Go sit in the pool.
Well, that's the thing. You're just sitting in pools. So I was sitting there. I was showing Tam the picture after, and we were talking about it. And I was saying, I said, and then outside, there's all these pools. And it's like a huge sausage party, but you're in these pools and you're watching all the sports. And Marshall, who loves swimming, is like, wait a second, Daddy. You're in the pool and you're I said, that's how it works, man. So actually, I was kind of proud of Marshall. So we get to, I was at Hudson's for a bit. They were doing their shopping. They finished shopping. And I was like, well, whatever. It's like 5 o'clock. And I said, well, what are we going to do? Let's just go to Bourbon Street. We'll find some supper. So we go, and it was some places were busy. So we go to first round. And the kids are allowed in first round. So we go and we sit down. And it's the first time in his life that Marshall's ever like sat down in like a sports bar lounge type of scenario.
Loaded with TVs
to have
everywhere.
Like dinner stuff. And he sits down, and there's that one big one that they got right on the left, and we're sitting in the corner. And he sits down, and he goes, I look at him, he goes, this is awesome. I said, yeah. He goes, we can watch the game while we eat. I said, yeah. And he goes, and there's TVs over there. I said, yes, this is it, man. Like, this is your moment. So he had a pretzel burger, and he's eating the burger, and he's like, this is the best tasting burger I've ever had. And he's yelling at the TV, and I'd never been so proud in my entire life. I was like, this is it. This is Marshall and I for the next like 60 years.
Do you remember your first moments? One
of
my first was, I remember Don Cherry's. There was a Don Cherry North Edmonton. They had TVs in the booth.
137th. We used to go there after rec league games.
And they would have TVs in the booth, and I was so excited. Like, that was the thing. Yeah. Like, I could go throw on any sports game that's on that I could switch to out of my own booth, and I could watch it here.
That's pretty cool.
I always tried getting my parents to go there because I was like, I want to pick my hockey game. I want to watch a football game.
I'm trying to think what my first sports bar was that I would go to on a regular basis to watch sports. And I think the answer probably has to be Average Joe's in Lethbridge. So it was kind of sports barish before sports bars blew up. We're talking like 2000, 2001, at least for a kid from Cranbrook going to Lethbridge. And it was like the only sort of sports bar called Average Joe's. You went in, it had air hockey and buck hunter and all that stuff. And then it had a bunch of TVs. So that would probably be that was probably my first like regular, let's go watch some sports. That would be at Average Joe's in Lethbridge.
Yeah, Jock Sports Bar is Northside Edmonton. That was around for a long time. Unfortunately, I don't know when that one closed. It wasn't that long. It was around forever, though. But, like, the sports bar wasn't, like, the brewhouses have taken over that game largely and stuff. And then first rounds have come in and all that. But
well, Brewhouse is a monster, right? Like, I guess we would have been at Brewhouse on the West End, Lewis Estates. Mm-hmm. But he was like 6 then.
Marshall?
Yeah, it was different. Like the kids were like 6
You don't
and
understand
4.
what's going on.
No,
you don't understand. You
it.
could just watch sports and it's just all happening at once.
He didn't get that.
Should we do our own EST circus swim? Buy a big spot, do a big wall of TVs. And
Eric was talking about
pools.
buying that pub.
TV's
pub.
That's been up for sale for a while. I bet we can get it cheaper. Like I saw him posted on.
What do you think about $250,000?
I think you could probably get.
Not that we
less.
can afford $250,000, but less.
Maybe it's been up for like a year on Facebook Marketplace.
What's it? How far down Soy Plain Road is it? Like, is it a pretty sketchy neighborhood? Yeah,
I don't know how far. I don't know. The LRT wouldn't go by there. I don't think. I don't know.
No, it's not. No, it wouldn't be by.
I think Shakes is going to be back open, or like that building's going to be up for sale soon because that fitness place was supposed to open.
And it still hasn't opened?
Was a sign about them not paying bills or something, maybe.
Already?
I saw that a couple weeks ago, and it hasn't even opened.
Well, the lease on that place must be massive. What was the name of that place again?
Which one?
The company that's moving to Shanks.
Iron Fit or something?
No, it's a funny name. It's Iron something, but it's kind of
Iron
funny.
Nation.
Yeah, Iron Nation.
They haven't.
I was joking that you might as well just call it the Roid Jungle. Like Iron Nation? Come on.
There was a letter posted on there. I saw this on Reddit where they're not paying bills. So their lease is getting terminated. So, it's open again. The Shanks Dream may live, although
mind you,
they probably did so many renovations and then they ruined it.
Yeah, but we're locked in here for 4.5 more years. Now, by then,
hey, Murray was
Shanks.
all in on Shanks too.
Yeah. I know a few other guys who are interested in Shanks as well. Probably be tough. All right, well, I need to know how you're doing after the Ravens game last night.
We're going to start there?
Yeah. Well, do you want to start there?
Yeah, no, it's we can start there.
It's tough when you got 2 full-time hosts.
Where's Huss? I don't see him.
Well, no, Huss is, yeah. Okay, funny.
So I was expecting the worst in that game throughout, like from start to finish. What did I text Warren Bears before
You've
the
been
game?
expecting it all season, though, Matt.
It's how the season has gone. It's what they've been doing. I think
Barris is a big Ravens fan, yeah.
What did I send before?
He's a crack pack guy.
At 6:16, as the game's about to start, I text him, I'm ready to be hurt.
Oh, no.
Like it was, this is who the Ravens are, especially this season, was anytime there was promise, something happened that took it away. And actually, you could say that that's been the Ravens for the last number of years. But, when Zay Flowers got the touchdown, hey, there's part of me is like, well, that's just too soon. You should have maybe gone down at the 1, but then the risk is you don't score a touchdown.
The second touchdown.
Yeah, the second one, where it's like, well, there's 2-something left.
Yeah.
The Steelers had no timeouts. There's only a 2-minute warning. Like, you could have really killed a lot of clock.
Did the Steelers have no timeouts left?
They had none.
Oh, maybe
they used it on the drive before. But the thing is, if you don't score a touchdown,
I didn't even think about that.
If you don't score a touchdown, well, now you've overthought this all. But okay, there was just a 2-minute warning. So really, like the Ravens, if they score a touchdown, but you're not killing enough clock then in that sense. So, but it was one, like you have to score the touchdown there, but okay, can the Ravens defense hold? And the guy slips and they give up the touchdown. And I thought, I was actually very happy with that one because there's 55 seconds left.
Still time.
And there was 3 timeouts. I'm okay, the Ravens could get in field goal range. But in my mind, I was like, okay, this is how it's going to happen. They're going to miss a kick. It's going to come down to a kick. And I've seen Luke miss a few important kicks this year. In that game, he took a penalty by kicking out of bounds just before, like not that long ago. That people talk about the missed kick. He also kicked it out of bounds, which gave the Steelers immediate field position after they retook the lead at one point.
How high did they draft this guy? Somebody tweeted at me. They're like, and they used a high draft pick on him. I do not know where kickers get drafted.
He was 6th round.
Okay, so
it's not really a high draft.
No, but it's a pick on a kicker.
Yeah, but the Ravens have a lot of picks usually. They stockpile those late ones. And then, but then what happens if DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson connect on that one play. There was only one guy left for Hopkins. Could Hopkins have taken that to the house?
When he just stood there and went
He
like
just
this,
stood there and Lamar threw it over and it went past it. But okay, in the end, they get the play. You come down to what you need, which is a field goal. And it wasn't even close. Like, I didn't understand Lamar. I didn't mind them moving to the center, but he took like 4 yards back and took a knee. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't just run Derrick Henry up the middle.
Yeah.
Don't be worried about a fumble.
Odds are Derrick Henry's going to hold on to that ball. Like,
maybe he could get a couple of extra yards, but even if they were on the other hash mark, that kick landed in another state. It wasn't even close. So I expected it. I'm actually, to a degree, I said it on the Hangout.
Don't say you're relieved.
I'm not relieved.
Oh, okay.
The level of relief I do have is they weren't going to win the playoffs. I was just going to be upset this upcoming week, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Lamar did not look healthy. Lamar did not look like Lamar. Too many times he just stood in that pocket and waited to try to find somebody to throw as opposed to running. And that's not Lamar Jackson. So clearly he's still banged up. Clearly he's still hurt. The two things, though, that have helped me is I still have the Miami Hurricanes on Thursday. And I've been all in on this Hurricanes. You know, it's been 23 years in the making getting to here. They're in the semifinals. So now, like, my attention is gone. They actually have a chance of winning a national title here. Baltimore didn't have a chance at the Super Bowl.
That's true.
So, like, my mind has been on the Miami Hurricanes. And then I woke up today, Ruben Amorim got sacked by Manchester United.
Bonnie Doon Rod says, what does Matt think about the firing of Ruben Amorim? Is that it? Amorim. Okay.
Do you really want to know my thoughts?
Well, I don't. But some people might.
How much time do you want to give me here?
I don't know. He was only there for just over
14 months.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Quickly, synopsis. He wasn't a good enough manager. They needed to make a change. However, Manchester United fired Erik ten Hag last season, went to Ruben and said, hey, we want you to be our manager. He said, I'm going to wait till the summer. I'll come in the summer. The league team's like, no, we want you now. Even though the system that
Where did he come from?
Sporting. Was it Sporting? I think Sporting.
Okay.
No, is it Sporting?
So he wasn't coming from
Portugal.
another massive...
He's from Portugal.
Okay.
So he had a specific system that you just knew the United players weren't going to fit in. And he's like, let me do it in the summer. And they're like, no. So we came. He's like, okay, I'll do it.
You're blaming the organization?
They were dreadful last year. Like, he could have got fired. They were actually just so dreadful, but whatever. So they come back this year. The results aren't there. He deserves to get fired. But they fire him because he said comments yesterday and there's a power struggle potentially, but now they have an interim. Why didn't you do the interim last year? Why didn't you bring an interim last year, then hire him this summer and then build a team around him? They do things so backwards right now with Manchester United, so it's frustrating. He needed to go, but before he was hired, I told Eric Lattimore 14 months ago, I'm numb to Manchester United coaching changes. I'm just numb to it. Whoever they hire, I don't like it. I don't hate it. I don't know, because in 16 months, we're probably going to fire him anyways.
So you don't have a favorite for the job?
I didn't for the last one either.
Really?
So at this point, just give me Thomas Tuchel. Give me Thomas Tuchel, because at least he'll get the best out of this team for like 12 months.
Thomas Tuchel.
But he's in England. He's with the English manager.
No. I have no idea anything you just said.
So, but
I need like a soccer translator so I can
bring Eric in here. The thing is, I woke up this morning, I wasn't expecting that. Like, I shouldn't have been that surprised. So then I woke up, it's like, oh, that happened. Oh, yeah, then the Ravens lost. But I had other things.
But at least you've got your football team.
There's been things that have immediately taken my attention away from the Baltimore Ravens. But a crushing loss. Three of us hosts of this lock shop. Not great seasons for our football teams.
No, definitely not great seasons for our football team. Hey, who won the league? The Rusty Truck League. Our fantasy league we're in together.
Tennis lost.
So who'd you lose to?
Kukshow?
Yeah. That guy, Kukshow won.
Yeah. Drafted studs.
He always says he drafted studs.
He drafted those studs.
I didn't even know who won. Ah, man.
Jay's football team. So if we actually go with the five hosts of the lock shop.
Commanders were awful.
Oh, it's all down to the Bills. Eric's Bills. That's it.
Yeah.
Do you like them against the Jags? Have you seen the lines yet?
I have the lines right here. I've seen the lines. We're gonna dive into that. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Hit us up over on YouTube as well. Oh, I know you're hosting. Sorry.
That's
I have
fine.
Strong tendencies to host, you know. So yeah, I have seen the lines. And this one's moved, I think. Oh. I thought I saw online earlier that there was movement the other way, but
for Bills Jags,
the Bills were a 1-point favorite this morning when we went through it. They are now a 1.5-point favorite going on the road against Jacksonville. What do we say? I just quote tweeted this. Trevor Lawrence from clean pockets over the last 6 weeks, according to Next Gen Stats, 90 of 130 for 69.2%, 1,180 yards, 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 130.9. So I believe it was Rip City Step this morning on the Nielsen show pointed out that the Jags during this winning streak that they've been on are winning games on average by over 19 points per game. Their defense has been pretty steady all year. I think if Buffalo is going to win this game, it's going to have to probably be Josh Allen being Superman. That's probably what's going to have to happen. And that might not be enough. Like, Jacksonville is legitimately a pretty good football team. If Trevor Lawrence can go out and have a really good playoff game, the old collection of rookie cards is going to start to tick in the right direction.
I think you want the significant Super Bowl out of all of that.
I mean, if he wins a Super Bowl, I'll be selling the rookie card collection immediately and cashing out
as soon as you can.
Hopefully up money on that one. But
Super Bowl MVP.
I mean, I can see why the Bills are favorites on the road, but I think this is I think it's more so based around like the legend of Josh Allen than it is that they're a better team than Jacksonville so far.
But the legend of Josh Allen is good enough to go win football games. And we've seen it time and again.
It's good enough to win
unless it's the Kansas City
one
Chiefs.
or two football games. But is it good enough to come out of the AFC this year?
But the one team that he couldn't do it against was the Kansas City Chiefs. Like Huss and I talked about it a while ago that like we saw that if the Bills are starting on the road in the playoffs, it didn't matter who they were going up against. They were probably going to be the favorites. And here we are. They're the favorites. And there's something like I'll say the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I'm just looking at the AFC winner odds.
I do like the Jags, and I don't know. I could see them. This might be the year. Trevor Lawrence is a damn good quarterback. He gets ripped on at times, maybe more so than I think he always is.
I think his confidence level's at an all-time high right now. Like he's making very good decisions with the football on a regular basis, and he's running the ball a little bit, which he's capable of for a guy with a big body.
The only real concern I would have for the Jags is having to go through colder weather environments. In theory, they would have to, if they win this week, they would have to take on the Patriots, and they'd have to go through the Broncos. That would be the
if they do win this week and the Patriots win, it would be New England, and then it would be Denver if Denver advances.
So that would be the only thing. But if they go and beat New England, then they're used to the cold.
Well, they went out. The biggest win, I think, on the schedule for the Jags this year, and I don't have their full schedule in front of me.
Up right now.
But they beat Denver. They went into Denver.
34-20.
And hung like 35. Yeah, was it 34?
34-20.
They hung 34 on an incredible Denver defense at home.
And that was just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that's why
that's a big one.
I'm not I can go with the fact that I can see the Jaguars going to the Super Bowl or the Buffalo Bills doing it and riding all the way to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so that would let's say that you're on the Bills or Jags, whoever wins that game can go to the Super Bowl. The two teams that would look very disrespectful to would be New England and Denver.
Yeah.
So why not Denver at home over one of the Bills or the Jags?
First playoff experiences kind of type stuff. Like there's a learning curve.
A defense like
there's a learning curve sometimes that comes into the playing in the playoffs. And as good as Drake May has been this year, you know, they're both very young. And I'm not ready yet to go and say that these are guys that like look at the last number of years of who the starting quarterbacks kind of have been in the Super Bowl, especially for, you know, I guess it's got to go a little further if you're going to go FC because it's Pat Mahomes and it's Joe Burrow and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's going to be a dominating victory. I'm not saying like that the Broncos and the Patriots have no shot or anything, but there can be a learning curve when you get to these playoffs, and they're kind of surprised a lot of people getting to this moment. And as good as that Broncos defense has been, I could see that this Jacksonville Jaguars team can maybe be the team that goes to the Super Bowl. Here's where I'll go. This seems like a year where weirdness is happening across the board. And we're going to get that unexpected Super Bowl that no one was thinking. Now, that could be also the Broncos and Patriots that you're throwing in there. But those two franchises more recently have been there. The Jaguars have not.
What is the matchup in the Super Bowl that the NFL wants the least? Jags,
Panthers. Jaguars, Panthers is the least sexy Super Bowl you could come up with. The sexiest Super Bowl you could come up with.
Oh, that's a good question.
Would be. It depends how you want to look at this.
Bills?
Well, I want to say it's not.
It's got to be Josh Allen.
It's not a big market. If you're going for TV numbers, it's not the biggest. But it's the Buffalo Bills. It's Josh Allen. So it'd be the Buffalo Bills.
Bills Niners with San Fran at home in the Super Bowl.
But are the Niners that sexy? Like, I know they're a historic franchise.
But for Josh Allen to have to go in to their stadium and beat them in a Super Bowl, probably that one. I think a lot of people might be tired of the Eagles, even though they are.
If you're having Bills,
champions.
Packers make it back to a Super Bowl, historic franchise going up against the Bills with Josh Allen. I think you'd always be happy with the Packers doing something. Now, I'm not putting that
Bills,
as high likely. Seahawks would be good. The Rams go into a division rivals stadium, take over.
Yeah. I mean, the whole Stafford, Josh Allen conversation.
What about Chargers, Rams?
Yeah.
The Battle of LA in the Super Bowl?
I don't know about that.
How great would that be?
Baptized Big Uke says Chargers, Bears would be pretty gross as well.
But at least the Bears have.
Yeah, but Panthers, Jags would be the one that.
Bears at least are historic. Like they've been around. They've been around for so long. Chicago's a big city, big market. That one, at least, that would be the only reason that one is slightly not as bad as Panthers.
Can you bring up the Bills' schedule this year?
Yeah.
Because we went through it earlier this morning. The Pats' schedule was as easy as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
They've won 14 games. There's like 2, maybe 3 good wins in there.
You want to go through the
Bills
wins?
I know, but I also know the Texans and the Jags have been super hot down the stretch. 9 wins and 8 wins. The Jags had the one against Denver. But for the most part, the Texans and Jags schedules I didn't think were like crazy difficult. But what was the Bills' schedule this year?
Beat the Ravens opening night.
Okay.
Beat the Jets. Beat the Dolphins. Beat the Saints.
Okay.
Lost to the Patriots, Falcons. Beat the Panthers. Beat the Chiefs. Lost to the Dolphins. Beat the Bucks. Lost to the Texans. Beat the Steelers. Bengals. Beat the Patriots. Beat the Browns. Lost to the Eagles. Beat the Jets. That's not a sexy win schedule. There's not a lot of sexy wins.
Well, I'm looking at their losses. They lost to the Falcons and the Dolphins.
Yeah. Based on how the season played out, not a lot of sexy wins. Ravens and Chiefs aren't sexy wins. Those 2 teams missed the playoffs.
Yeah. When did they beat the Chiefs? I mean, that was still a Patrick Mahomes game.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th.
Like that was
game of the
that was still when the Chiefs were.
But they weren't.
We were hoping that they were like it still beat Mahomes in Kansas City, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh no, in Buffalo.
Was it in Buffalo?
In Buffalo.
Oh, I thought it was in KC.
It's still 28-21. It was. I think that was Grey Cup Sunday. Was it? Or was it the week before?
Well, that might have been Grey Cup Sunday.
Or I'd have to look. November 2nd. Never mind. It was early November. 2 years ago was Grey Cup Sunday. It's the Patriots is the big win that they've got there based on the way we look at the season.
Yeah, so in a playoff game, would you take Bills or Patriots right now?
They beat 2 teams that made the playoffs this year. Of the Buffalo Bills' 12 wins, only 2 were against the playoff team.
Okay, so who did?
Ravens were not, Jets were not, Dolphins were not, Saints were not, Panthers were not, Chiefs were not, Bucks were not, Bengals were not, Browns were not, Jets were not. They beat the Steelers and they beat the Patriots.
Well, the Steelers barely got in.
Well, and if the Steelers didn't, then they beat the Ravens. So there was.
All right, well, that's okay. So they only have 2 wins over playoff teams.
Yes.
All right, so here's Jacksonville. Panthers, Texans. Texans are a playoff team. Niners, they beat the Niners. They're a playoff team. They beat the Chargers, a playoff team. And they beat the Broncos, are a playoff team. So they have, 4 wins over playoff teams. The Jags' losses this year, they lost to the Bengals 31-27. That was week 2. Joe Burrow would have still been healthy, I think.
No, he got hurt in week 1.
Did he get hurt in week 1?
Yeah.
So that was not a great loss.
It was fantasy.
Then they lost to the Seahawks. They lost to the Rams. And they lost to the Texans. And that's it. So they lost. Like, 3 of their 4 losses are to pretty good football.
Yep.
They don't have, I guess, week 2, Bengals, not a great loss. But outside of that, they don't have a bad loss on their schedule. Outside of the fact that the losses against the Seahawks and Rams were actually at home and they got pumped They got pumped by the Rams.
So yeah, this is a NFL playoff season that we're coming up to that I think overall, as we look at it, there's just a lot of weirdness happening. And even if you go to preseason predictions, there's a lot of teams that didn't make the playoffs that we thought were, and Lions, Commanders, Chiefs, Ravens, some of those teams that missed out on the playoffs this year. And, Bears go win the division even. They don't just make the playoffs, they go win the division. The Panthers are in the playoffs. So it is going to be fun. I've got a little bit of Oiler news.
Lions?
To a degree.
Okay, well, we'll come back and look at the early odds for the week in the National Football League here. But let's
from Spec.
We talk some hockey.
At Oilers practice, looks like Ingram gets the start versus Nashville tomorrow, and it appears both Mangiapane and Frederick are setting up as healthy scratches.
It should be the way that it is. I mean,
but Mangiapane and Frederick potentially setting up to both.
Okay, so yesterday at practice, Frederick and Hudson were the odd men out. Okay, well then somebody's going to have to be sent down because Janmark didn't practice yesterday and they still had 14 forwards. So Janmark, if he's good to go, then he would draw in, and then it'd be Frederick, Mangiapane, and somebody else would be out. So there's going to probably have to be a roster movement of some sort. Doesn't surprise me that Ingram gets the start there, and we'll get into that a little bit more on
the Oil Stream.
On Oil Stream coming up.
You and Tommy.
The window for CFL players to sign with NFL teams is officially open.
Oh, to actually sign.
Yeah, to actually sign between 22 different players, 53 different workouts so far for guys around the CFL.
Celta Blanco apparently was.
Yeah, Green Bay.
With Green Bay.
I think it was Green Bay. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Okay, let's stick on hockey here for a second. I know you're tired. Did you watch the World Junior game? You were watching the football game?
Yeah. I didn't have time to flip. I didn't have time.
I flipped back. I was flipping back and forth.
For me, it's just too much Ravens. I
was only flipping in World Junior commercials.
So your main World Juniors going to football?
I was main World Juniors. I was consuming the football game on Twitter as crazy plays happened.
Well, it is easier to flip to a football game from a hockey game than vice versa. Because football is so static, start, stop.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe it's the other way.
Oh, you flip to a hockey game, there's usually always action going.
There's something going on.
Flip to a football game, you might be in the middle of nothing. And that's an interesting way to look at that then.
But no, this is the Ravens. And my love of the World Juniors just hasn't been there for a long time.
I heard you saying that a little bit. Yeah.
I will say, it seems all cyclical. When you look at the history of the medalists at the World Juniors, Canada dominated in the 90s. Then we didn't win for 5. Then we won 5. And then we stopped medaling for a little bit. And then we won, 5 of the 9 prior to this run that we're going to not medal in 4 straight. It's also cyclical. Canada's in a down part right now. I'm not worried. In a couple of years, Canada's going to go roll off 3 of 4 gold medals at the World Juniors, and all is going to be fine.
Yeah, so after 2009, and I don't know if they will. What did you say? How many?
They'll win 3 of 4 soon.
In a row? I don't think so.
3 of 3.
I think we might be settling into they win 2 of every 5.
You think?
Which is still good. That's still 40%. But I don't know. So since 2009, when they had the big 5 in a row, U.S., Russia, Sweden, U.S., Finland, Canada, Finland, United States, Canada, Finland. And then from 2020 to 2023, Canada, U.S., Canada, and Canada lost the one to the U.S. So they're in 4 straight finals.
And they in that span from the first to the last, it was 5 of 9, I think, for Canada's.
From 2015?
Sure, if that's the year.
Yep, yeah, it would have been 5 of 9. And then the U.S. take the last 2, and then this year it'll be Sweden or Czechia.
We go through these. We go through periods where Canada, before the 5 straight in 2000.
Well, why do we go through that? What's the reasoning behind it?
Other countries catch up to us. We then jump ahead of them.
See, I don't know if the jump ahead of them is coming back. Other nations have better goaltending than us.
Okay.
I think it was proven that, at least for this tournament, other nations have better blue lines than us.
Okay.
And I think other nations are better coached than we are.
The coach I can live with, but then we change coaches all the time. We'll find that right coach, and they'll go dominate for a couple in a row.
Yeah, you know what? That could be the one thing that gets them on track for a bit is to find a coach that really clicks for a couple or something.
At different times, you just find that coach, and that coach takes you off, and good things happen. it's also cyclical. When you go look at the history of the medalists, we've seen this trend. We've been in these moments. This conversation would have been happening back in 2004 or whatever. Oh, Canada hasn't medaled in 5 straight. We haven't won a gold in 5 straight. Now, the difference is at that time, at the very least, you could say is we were getting to gold medal games. Maybe on your side, like at least when we weren't winning golds, we were losing in the gold medal game. But, we still produce players at very high levels in the National Hockey League. Who are the best players in hockey right now? Some of them are still very much Canadian.
Well,
they're
most of them
younger.
are Canadian, yeah.
So that's going to keep. And who are some of the youngest best players right now? A Celebrini, a Bedard, a Schaefer. They're still Canadians. So we're still producing them. It's at these tournaments we're just not winning right now. We'll find that winning formula very soon. I'm not worried about the development. Goaltending, we've been talking about for over a decade that Canada doesn't have goaltending.
But we don't.
We don't, but we've been talking about over a decade, and we've still found victories. We have the worst goaltending in 4 nations. It doesn't matter. We go win.
So you're just not concerned about it at all?
No. Not at all.
This is the first time that Canada's not going to be in the podium for 3 years in a row since 1981, when I was born. Like this is my entire life. Canada's been on the podium at least once every 3 years.
But it's happened before.
Yeah, but I mean,
and then
half a century ago.
Yeah, still okay. Things that other countries have their moments where they step up. We always just want to do a massive overhaul of everything. Are there certain things we can improve on? Sure. Are there better? But last year we take a quote unquote team and we don't win. And we're leaving some of the best players at home. So this year we take the best players. We don't win.
What say you?
Next coach will be fine.
218-9999, 780-218-9999. Big Uke says Canada's goalie was solid last night. Yeah, Ivan Kovic was solid last night, but I also don't think he's elite. Like, I don't think he's a guy who's going to be nominated for the Vezina in 6 years.
No, even some of the best goalies we've seen from Canada.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I've never gone to the NHL. Like Justin Pogge.
Well, yeah, I don't want to put Ivan Kovic in the same sort of as like Zach Fucale.
Oh, good one.
And some of these other guys who are like sort of not big goalies that play pretty well. Heck, the guy who was a goalie last year ended up being the backup this year because he wasn't playing well. So, I think if you could start developing some super elite goalies, that would go a long way to help you win.
Sure, but that's a bigger conversation that we've
like. Who were their goalies when they did the 5 in a row? The 05 team was stacked. That would have been who was on that 05? The 05 team was like everybody, right? Is that Marc-Andre Fleury team?
No, I don't think it was Fleury still.
No, that was the 03 team.
Because that was the Belzy with Sidney Crosby and all that, wasn't it?
05?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would have been lockout year. Real junior rosters. Why aren't you giving me the Canada rosters?
I think if you were to go to elite prospects, would probably.
Goalie was Jeff Glass and Rajon Beauchemin.
Jeff Glass.
Yeah, that was who our goalie was in.
I don't think it mattered on the 05 team.
No, it certainly did not. 06, our goalie would have been. We had Devin Dubnyk and Justin Pogge.
Okay.
In 07.
And Pogge was pretty good in that tournament.
Do we have rosters for 07? I'll have to click a game reference sheet for this one. In 07, the goalie for Canada, we had Carey Price and Leland Irving.
07?
Yeah. So
was he also 08? I think we have Carey Price for 2 World Juniors. We might have. I could be wrong. Nope, just the 07 World Juniors.
So then 08, Jonathan Bernier and Steve Mason.
Mason ended up having a really good rookie season. He was
and
okay
then
for a bit.
09, which was the last of the 5 in a row. Chet Pickard and Dustin Tokarski.
There's another one, the Tokarskis, the Zach Fucales. There's another guy that's kind of in that similar vein.
So 1 year of that 5 in a row, we talking about a goalie that was the starter. Like Devin Dubnyk did some things, but it was Pogge more so, if I recall correctly, where a goalie went off and did something. So we're talking almost 20 years of Canada not producing goalies.
Like, who would we say is the last elite Canadian? Carey Price.
Yes.
Has there been an elite Canadian goaltender since Carey Price? like, no shade at Logan Thompson because he's been pretty good the last couple of years. But we haven't had an elite automatic, that's the guy since Carey Price.
Correct.
Carey Price has been non-relevant for at least 5 years now.
Correct.
All right, so I don't know. We'll have to see how it sorts itself out, I guess.
Kevin Bond on the Nasty Chat. This is a systemic problem. Minor hockey in Canada is broken. Too many people thinking they could run it better. I could do an entire hangout on this.
Yeah, it definitely could be an entire hangout. I said this morning, I don't know if it is the answer, but I'm curious how much of it is impacted by the fact that hockey for kids in 2025 in this country, now 2026, I guess, has branched off in so many different ways, right? You used to be playing minor hockey, you have your AAA team, and boom, that's it. Now it's these kids are like White Mud West this year lost our U9s to a Super League team. The U9s. Like, so like you're branching off at that age, and I heard it's not going well. Like they're good kids, like good hockey players, but they're getting crushed apparently. So you've got the academies, you've got the minor hockeys, and now you've got like Super League and JPHL and that sort of element of it. And I wonder if it's just maybe some players are getting lost in the shuffle because they're going in so many different directions. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm wondering if that's what it is. You know, I don't have the answer to it, but I'm curious about it.
Right, but let's look at this tournament right now. We have how many first rounders were on this team?
18.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not a talent issue here.
No, I don't think everybody's saying it's a talent issue. I think it's these kids aren't defending as well as they should be. They're not as physical as people want them to be. Like they can all go do a Michigan, but can they pick up a guy in front of their own net? Apparently last night they couldn't.
Maybe that's coaching.
Well, yeah, I think a large part of it probably has to be coaching. And not just this coaching, but maybe coaching on the way up. And
Dale Hunter is a great junior coach. I don't want to take anything away from him. His London Knights and what they do at the Memorial Cups is fantastic. Maybe he's just not the right guy for Canada hockey when it comes to these tournaments and these international events. We need someone else. Maybe that's one thing. Like maybe we just need a head coach of Canada hockey. They come in and this is their job. This is their full-time job. That they're focused on that if you want to make some changes. But I'm not as concerned. Look, next year it's going to roll here in Edmonton, Red Deer. Well, this year. And Canada's still going to be a top favorite to go win it all. And it wouldn't shock me if also we're talking about Canada finished, brought back the gold at the place that last won gold, I think. So we've had it so much. You want to get back to the National Football League here? I
want to get to one quick text from Nico's dad. He says, this team was touted to win it all and easily. The guest you guys always have on, Shane or Sanders, who talked about development in sports with young... Was it Sandor? Talked about development in sports with young kids is bang on. Coaches are teaching kids breakouts at 8 and 10 years old. Coaches are just dads who really don't know anything about development, mainly focus on winning. If you research the Swedish model, there's a plan mainly focuses on development instead of games and winning. It's paying off dividends. Plus, he should be nominated for Guest of the Year. Did you recently have Sandor?
He was on back in the fall. He was nominated for that. Sandor brings up a lot of... I need to reach out to him, get him on again soon, because he's always great to bring on. But he brings up the French soccer model and stuff. And if I recall this correctly, I hope I'm getting this right. Go back to past hangouts with him on, because he's worded it, where it's required by the pro teams to give money to fund minor sports in France, or minor soccer. Okay. So, imagine if the entire funding model for minor sports was forced based off of you owe X amount to the 7 NHL teams. And what you're going to do is you're going to pay for actual head coaches, not volunteers. You're going to pay for people to run these things that know what they're doing, to know what they're doing, as opposed to, with all due respect, it's just some, and this is maybe in Canada, there's a lot of guys out there that know what they're doing. So I don't know if it's as much with hockey, the development, but other sports where you put someone in place that knows what they're doing. Or for Hockey Canada, it's okay. This is how we want things taught. We've hired these people in these cities to run these things, as opposed to just volunteers or something like that. I think that's kind of also a little bit what Sandor was referring to.
Parkside text in and says the Super Leagues in Alberta have decimated minor hockey to the point where they're debating on eliminating zones, basically spring hockey year round. He says, I don't know what the answer is.
Eliminating zones. Like getting rid of red and blue lines?
No, not the zones on the ice. Zones in the city.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, zones in the zones.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I was thinking,
say, no.
what are we doing to the game here? What am I missing? Okay, no, that'd be crazy.
No, I mean,
I see.
we have some kids who don't understand zones yet, but they'll eventually come. I was hoping yesterday. We had Elizabeth had a practice yesterday morning, and she's on this goalie kick right now.
She wants to be a goalie?
Oh yeah. So she played goalie last game or a couple games ago, and she loved it. And she did pretty well. She's like, I think I might want to be a full-time goalie. So after the last game, they were like, the coaches were like, hey, anybody want to be goalie? And she's like jumping up and down, doing the arm up thing. And I'm like, I don't mind it because I was a goalie, but I'm like, so they gave her the pads again. So yesterday at practice, she was in a bit because she's only U9, so they play the small nets when they do their little games. And yesterday at practice, they had a big net. And she must have let in 60 goals. Like, she was just getting torched in practice. It was just the one drill over and over again. And I do think this is something that, as a hockey organization, whether it be in Alberta or Canada or whatever, talk about developing goalies. I mean, there's no goalie coach for her, right? Like, she's sort of just standing there in net. And I'm in the stands. I'm trying to be like, come out a little bit more and like do this, do that. But there was no like goalie instruction, at least at practice yesterday. And so she gets absolutely torched. And Tam doesn't really want her to be a goalie. So I'm figuring, like, after we're walking out and I'm walking beside her, and I said, hey, how was practice? And she goes, well, I let in a lot of goals. I said, you did let in a lot of goals. How do you feel about that? And she's like, I don't care. And I was like, oh no. Like, she's one of those. Like, she's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's practice. I was just, so I don't know. Anyway,
the big nets.
Yeah.
She's going to get beat, and she knows that. She's like, okay, I got to figure this out.
She's a very tall girl, so she'll take up a little bit of the net. But yeah. Anyway, we don't need to. This is a conversation we can continually have, I think, with ball hockey goalie.
Yeah, street hockey and stuff. We can play with the neighbors and all that. I was always going in net. Nothing like robbing someone. Like the stretch across, grabbing the ball and making sure it doesn't go in. And that was the great feeling. Love shutting the door.
83 Runner says they lost 11 players to the HSL this year in U9. And they do it different in U9. It's full ice in U9 in HSL. Where in minor hockey, they play half ice games. I'm still undecided on which development model I think is better for U9s. But yeah, there's just so many options out there for kids now. It's, in the end, you hope that the top 20 rise to the top and they get on the team and they go win the World Juniors, but didn't happen this year. All right, 780-218-9999. We'll get to more on the Oilers coming up with the oil stream in about 15 minutes, so make sure you stick around for that. That'll lead into EST Afternoons and then the Reed Wilkins Show as well. Did you? I don't know if you were listening to the show this morning. I got a desk for the podcast studio at the back.
You got me. I had the measurements for you.
Yeah. So
Did you get it?
Yeah. So it's good. It'll be good, but
that scares me. The fact you have to do a disclaimer to
so
this.
marketplace to marketplace, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of a bit of a marketplace noob. I've dabbled in a little bit. So this lady has this desk out by Devon. She's like, come get it. And we're going back and forth on stuff. It's all good. I said, okay, it's $50. I was like, and it looked good, and it's perfect for what we need. So I drive out to Devon yesterday to get all the way out to Devon, go down these side roads in the snow, like it was just north of Devon on the other side of the river, and finally find her house and knock on the door and give her the $50. And she goes, okay, here's the desk. It was just like sitting out in front of like their steps kind of thing. And I looked down, I was like, okay. And then she goes, I hope it's okay, but there's no screws for it. And I was just like,
why would you? Please say you said no.
No, I bought the desk.
Why would you buy that desk?
Because Glue Guy will fix it. Glue Guy will find screws and put it together. And it's a
then
back.
You should have been like, I want $10 back or something.
Well, I only had a 50 and I'd given her the 50 already.
She can give you $10. Be like, okay, I'm sorry that I didn't want
to be that guy.
I'm going to need a discount on this. You didn't tell me that there were no screws. I drove all the way out from Devon. She totally
should have told me that.
Yes.
I know.
That's why you needed to get money back at the very least, if not take a desk.
Yeah. Anyway, Glue Guy. So it's just a back and like a center leg and then the round part of the table. So it probably won't be too hard to. He'll rig something up.
So we have to pay more for screws, which minimal
amount for screws, but yeah. So anyway, we have to haul that up from the truck after.
Yeah, well, we're not ready to have it out here yet.
Well, we got to put it back in the. I didn't want it in my truck.
Yeah, but why'd you? You bought too soon.
Well, no, but it's really good. Wait till you see it. You'll be like, oh yeah, this is good size for this. You'll like it.
I would probably like it for $40.
We got time to find screws, right? It's not ready just yet.
I got to sell some stuff back there
in the space.
The
yeah.
foam.
Well, don't sell any screws. If you find any screws, keep them. We might need those. All right, so here's what we've got for the. Do you sell a lot on Marketplace?
No.
Yeah, see, Marketplace.
I've never sold, but usually
sometimes you can't trust.
I've bought things there.
I'm going to give her. Tam said, "Give me your phone when it's time to review." I'm going to give her the review.
Well, yeah.
I said because I don't want to.
That's cheap. That you can't do that. Like that you can't. That's a pretty important information to not say, especially when you live out of Devon. And you should have walked away.
All the way out there, yeah.
You should have walked, or at the very least, she should have had to give you a little bit of a refund off of that.
I didn't look at it super duper close, but it looks like, sometimes it's the metal ones that you just put into like it's.
You always look before you give the money.
See, that was my mistake.
You shouldn't have given that 50.
Yeah, I know. Oh well, it's a write off anyway, right?
Sure. Sure, that's how it works.
All right, so here's a look at the lines in the National Football League for the upcoming weekend, and we'll dive into this a little bit more with Huss when he's back from Vegas tomorrow. The Rams, it was 9.5 this morning. It's already moved. It's Rams -10 on the road in Carolina. Maddie, your thoughts about it? But that's a huge number for a playoff game.
It is, but the Panthers have the chance to make the playoffs and lose to the Bucs on Saturday and only get in because the Falcons manage.
But the Panthers beat the Rams this year.
Yeah, so and that's going to be on the Rams' mind also in this one. The 10 doesn't scare me in this one.
Really?
The Rams are going to come out firing, and I just don't think the Panthers are going to have this one.
The Rams are going to win this game. I would be stunned if they get upset by Carolina.
You think?
But
7 points?
10's a big number.
Yeah.
And they beat them this year.
It's hard to beat a team twice. That's the other part.
I don't think they're going to beat them, but 10. Can they cover 10? Can they lose by a touchdown? So I think we'll make our official picks later in the week, but early, and obviously the money's coming in on the Rams because it's already moved from 9.5 to 10.
You'd keep that out of a parlay.
If it moves to 10.5, I'd hammer the.
You'd keep that out of any parlay. I would say that.
The spread?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's so weird seeing a number that big in the playoffs.
But when you have a team that's making the playoffs like the Carolina Panthers, that's what you kind of expect.
Yeah, maybe,
Like, honestly,
maybe my mind changes after 3 days.
What do you think the line should be, like 6.5?
I know, I would think it would probably be like 7.5.
Yeah, okay.
At 8.5 maybe, but not 10. All right, Packers and Bears. The Bears are 1 point favorites at home against Green Bay. Early thoughts on that one?
It all comes down to just how much healthier, like Jordan Love's status. If Jordan Love can get back to being who he is, this is a tight game. And we saw these two teams, quite recently. For me, there's just something still that I don't want to fully buy into on the Bears. Although they played the 49ers so well on that Sunday night a couple of weeks ago. So I would take the Packers, but I'm not 100% confident.
I think I'm leaning Bears.
It's so close, and the Bears have kind of looked pretty good.
Well, and they continue to find ways to win, right? Like they've finished games,
and they have solid running game. Like they're not this isn't a team that's like Caleb Williams is going off this year and doing things we weren't, completely like, how is he still doing this? They just have a good running attack. And just right when you get to the playoffs, that's where it starts. That's where it ends. It's just having a good running attack. And Chicago in January, you never know what the temp's going to be. The running attack's going to be very important. They got two guys that can go do it. But I don't know, the Packers know how to win in the playoffs a little bit too. They can go on a little bit of a run. Well coached.
Jags 1.5 point at home against the Bills. That's a money line play no matter what. Anyway,
I take the Bills.
Bills on the money line's -123 right now.
And this is why if the Jags get the win, I then will be fully confident the Jags getting to the Super Bowl.
I've just been waiting. I thought
Bills.
I've sort of been waiting to fade the Jags for the whole second half of the season, but when they beat Denver in Denver, that was the one time I was like, wait a second, maybe the Jags are legit. So I don't know on that one yet. We'll see.
There's too many
I
don't knows with the NFL playoffs.
Well, no, it's but it's kind of a good thing, right?
It is. Yeah. The 49ers Eagles.
Well, I do like the Niners plus the 4.
But after what I saw against the Seahawks, a chance to not leave home, a chance to just stay in San Francisco.
There's a lot on the line there.
Get a week off and then stay in San Francisco.
The Seahawks are a good team, though.
Absolutely, but there was that home. The Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, but you're getting 4 points here. I think.
No, I know, but
And the Eagles' offenses look disjointed all year.
I'm just thinking straight up winning on this one.
Nan, so the Niners going to beat the Eagles?
He was in the nasty chat on the hangout, not happy with them.
No.
Not with that defense.
But the Eagles' offense hasn't been great this year either.
Doesn't matter. D. Winters questionable now. He left the game. Like, they have nobody. They get no pressure on the quarterback. They can't stop the run. They don't have an elite secondary player. Their linebacking core is all backups now. They're on the road. Unless Purdy goes off for 45. But you're right. I mean, the Eagles could.
No. See, that's why I like the 4. I thought maybe that should be like a 3. So I like the 4.
I love the Patriots at 3.5.
Patriots 3.5 against the Chargers.
I do like that one. Drake May going off first playoff game, and there's just something about the Chargers you can't fully buy in on.
Yeah, I mean, Herbert's been running for his life.
Yeah,
for most of the season there. I like New England on the money line in that one. We'll see if that number moves on the 3.5. And then it's also 3.5 Texans on the road against the Steelers. And I do like the Texans minus the 3.5.
Their defense is good. Yeah. The only thing I will say about the Steelers this year have found ways to win. In games that you're not expecting, they have found ways to get it done, or they've gotten those victories.
They're going to need a priest to bless the entire field if they're going to beat the Texans, not just one end zone.
Dusty, what about...
I don't mind the covering 3.5, though.
Yeah.
That's where I don't mind this being a 3-point game, the Texans winning late.
Is this like a 17? You think it's 17-14 or something like that? Like, I don't
21,
see the Steelers scoring 20 points on the Texans defense. But
no, but I can see the Steelers. TJ Watt's back now.
Yeah, the interception.
What about the Lions? Oh, wait. No, they didn't make it.
All that for a Lions joke?
That was an odd that had been out for a couple of weeks.
Jeez, what are you talking about? No, I'm catching strays here. My team's not even.
That team's out. That is harsh.
Oh man,
that'll do it.
I'm sitting here making a case for your Niners.
Yeah,
and you're coming back and taking shots at the Lions.
That'll do it for the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. I was going to be what's coming up on the oil stream.
Well, Matt, thanks for asking. We're going to talk about the brief viewing of the kid line. We're going to get into that. Wallman with the team today.
No way.
Skating with the team today. Is Mangiapane going to be traded for Strome? And we're also going to dive into the numbers game, which just looks at how shitty their bottom 6 is.
That's all to come.
That's coming up on the oil stream.
Oil stream. That's noon to 1 right here in Edmonton Sports Talk. We've got EST afternoons with Hernan and Gager, and then we got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That is all to come. We didn't build any sort of lock shop parlay, but we got the early bird bet.
We got the early bird bet up still. Yeah, it's a quiet night. Yep. Minnesota to win, moved it from -112 to +100.
We also still have the Play Alberta lock shop parlay that Eric and I built that plays into tonight's game between the Montana State.
Is that the first game?
That's the first game. Montana State Bobcats -10.5 in the FCS National Championship, along with Ole Miss +3.5, Indiana -4.5. That is +603. On behalf of Dusty, I'm Matt. Huss will be back tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to the Lock Shop oil stream coming up in just a few minutes right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Clear choice for Edmonton Sports presented by Play Alberta. And don't go anywhere.